Hello, comrades! Today I would like to make a comment to the discussion which taken place in the last weeks in the American left, discussion about American patriotism. So there are several movies of the American leftists, American Marxists, and also English-speaking Marxists, for example, Jason Unruh from Canada, and especially I would like to comment a discussion which was published in the YouTube channel The Dive with Jason Hinkle, and in this discussion were three persons, comrade Jason Hinkle and also two other comrades, Caleb Maupin and Haas from the YouTube channel Infrared. So they most of the discussion was about history. So they said that we knew that the history of United States is very cruel. There was a lot of genocide. There was a genocide of Indians, and also there was slavery and stuff like this. And they said that we can't all the time talk about this with American workers today, because it is not a fault of American workers today that in the past the American states killed a lot of people. So they speak about this more than 1 hour, but from my perspective they didn't say about the things which are the most important. They didn't speak about the American imperialism today. One of these comrades, Jason Hinkle, he in this background there was an American flag, and I would like to participate in this debate. Maybe it will be my first debate in English language. For the comrades who don't know me, I want to apologize that my English skills are not very good, but I make a lot of effort to learn your difficult language. So I would like to make a comment from the Polish communists, from Polish perspective, because Poland is the country which is very close to the American imperialism, and I was born in 1980s. And I want to say that in 1980s, in the time when I was born, your president Ronald Reagan, he introduced the economic sanctions against Poland, and it was one of the reasons that the poverty in Poland, the crisis, the problem with economy of Polish Popular Republic, and it was finished. All this politics of Reagan was finished by the counter-revolution, and introduced the capitalist system in Poland, and also Poland became a semi-colony of United States. Today, from 2016, the American soldiers have a base in Poland, and also Polish economy is very dependent from American corporations. For example, one of the biggest private media in Poland, named TVN, is American media, and this media all the time they make a very primitive lies. For example, they said that the concentration camp in Auschwitz was liberated by the US Army. Of course, it was a lie, because it was liberated by the Soviet Army, and they lied every day. So for me, like a citizen of Poland, the discussion about the USA, about the American flag, is discussion about the things which USA make today. Of course, I know that that you are against imperialism. Caleb Maupin, he collaborate with media from Iran, with Russia Today, and he support many anti-imperialist forces which existed in the world. I respect him for this activity. But I think that you didn't mention in this discussion what have to be the politic of the American communists if you take the power in USA, and what will you do with all the American imperialism. I remember that I discussed 1 year ago with a guy from Jacobin magazine. His name is Ben Burgess, and I asked him question: if the DSA became a ruling party in the USA, if he can promise me that you will close all the American bases in the world. I think that there is more than 1,000 bases, military bases, American bases in the world. And simple question: if you promise that after 1 week all these military bases abroad will be closed, and he didn't agree with me. He said that it is more complicated. For example, I knew that I was living in South Korea, and if the American troops go out from South Korea, it will start a war with North Korea, blah blah blah. My question for you is, what do you think about this? Firstly, if you are agree with me that all the military bases of the United States abroad, the America will be closed when you take a power. And second thing, I would like also say something about the economic imperialism, because you didn't speak about this. Economic imperialism, in the simply explanation of the economic imperialism, it is the dollar which every transaction in the world have to take place in dollar, and because of that America can make sanction against other countries. And also because of that, the America profit this situation, that the people from third world countries, they are working very hard to produce something, and in United States the Fed print money, and that's all. And for this money which you are printing, you can buy what do you want, stuff from all over the world. And if some country don't want to make the transaction in dollar, he is punished. He is punished like Libya in the time of Gaddafi was punished, because Gaddafi, he didn't wanted to sell oil for dollar. He wanted to introduce the new currency, the gold dinar or something like this. And because of this gold dinar, Libya, which was the best country in Africa from the perspective of the people who lived there, there was a lot of social and stuff like this. It was destroyed. So comrades, if you want to continue this discussion about American patriotism, you can debate with me. You can debate with the guy who very often participated in the demonstration in front of the American embassy in Warsaw. I participated in the demonstrations in the time of the bombing of Yugoslavia in 1999, also in the time of war in Afghanistan, war in Iraq, and my history, how many times I participated in the demonstrations or meetings, anti-imperialist, is very long, and very often in our, I don't know, in our propaganda, in our leaflets, our posters, our journals, very often we use the symbol of American flags, which was, I don't know, with destroyed or something like this. And the question is how we can build the international relationships between communists in the world when you are using the flag of the American imperium, which is responsible for all the destroying of the anti-imperialist movements, the socialist states. Because when I was speaking about the Poland, it was not only that my country was destroyed, it was the socialist country which was destroyed. The destruction of socialism in Poland, it was finished with the poverty, mass unemployment, emigration, demographic problems, and many other things. And I can't, I think that I listen some of the videos of the comrade Jason Hinkle, and he is, I think that in many things I am agree with him, but I have some psychological problem how I can collaborate with communists who use the American flags, because it is not a flag of the American worker, it is the flag of the American soldiers, which is now in Poland. And because of the soldiers who are in Poland, the Polish politicians are totally loyal to the American government. I would like also continue the discussion about the genocide which was taking place in the America. This discussion is without sense, because I think that all the nations, especially all the European nations in the past, they make the genocide. For example, of course, it is the history of the Western countries. I am living in France, so I can talk a lot about the history of the French imperialism, about how many people were killed in Algeria and stuff like this. But also I can say something about the people which were killed by the Poland. For example, the Ukrainians in 17th century. A lot of Ukrainians were killed. And also there is a very complicated history of the relations with the Jews, Polish Jews, in the time of the Second World War. As you know, these Jews was sent to the ghetto, and after from this ghetto they were sent to the concentration camps, Treblinka, Auschwitz, stuff like this. But in the time, in the first weeks of war, when there was a decision that the Jews have to be located in the ghetto, they left empty houses, and many Polish families, many Polish workers takes these houses. and because of this we have some of these people still lived who remember the times when they moved to the houses which belonging to the Jews before war. But this discussion, and I can continue that there is also the history of the two nations which was totally exterminated. One nation, this is the nation which now is located in the Kaliningrad region and Lithuania and the north part of Poland. One of this nation named Prusowie and second Jadwingowie. And these two nations was totally exterminated by Polish and Germans, the German Teutonic Knights. So when Marx speaks about the English workers, it was the time when the Great Britain built a big imperium all over the world, and it was the time when this imperium killed a lot of people in India and in Africa, in other places. And Marx didn't say, "Oh, you British workers, you are exploitators, and you are living in good condition. You work 16 hours a day. Your children's 5 years children who work in factories also they profit this imperialism." No. He didn't care about this. He knew that it is this genocide which I spoke. It was not genocide made by the working people. This Polish genocide was made by the nobles, by the aristocracy, by the Polish state, not by the Polish peasants. And also, so for Marx, it was not important the past. It was important that the past is cruel. The past is the time when the classes like bourgeoisie or aristocracy have a power, and they use this power to killing people. So I would like that we continue the discussion not about history, how Americans were bad in the past, because this is a little manipulation, that you speak about very important problem, but not speak about talking about the things which are taking place in the 19th century. I don't care about this. I want to know, what do you think about the American forces today, and also what do you think about economic imperialism? Because there is the time when the nations in the world will liberate them there from the American supremacy. The time when they stopped using dollar, it will be big economic crisis in the USA, and the economic situation of the working people in USA will be worse, I think. And I support this. Because it is the only way to the liberation of the world. Because for me, the socialism, it is the struggle for the working people in the world. And I think that it is not good, this economic difference between the people lived in third world countries or in the Poland and the people who lived in USA. Okay, so today it finished. One more time, I apologize for my level of English. I invite you to make debate with me, or maybe better, I would like to make conversation with you. I'm not prepared to make debate with you. because my English is very, very bad. I also want to profit this because I'm already speaking. I already present this Jason Hinkle and Caleb Maupin. There is also a third guy. His name is Haz. He used a language very difficult. A lot of philosophical language. He spoke about philosophy, about Hegel, about dialectic. I don't think that it is good language to speak with workers, but it is language which very I respect him for this, because I think that in last times I listened a lot of people and about. I think that this guy, his level of Marxist knowledge is very high, and also I would like to speak with him not only about these political things which I said, but also about the Marxist philosophy. So. And what else? And Caleb Maupin, he is a specialist about the history of the working class, working movement, communist movement in USA. Also, I think that you can learn something from him. I knew I knew him from maybe more than 1 year. I listen a lot of his stream. I also translate some of his videos to our channel in Odrodzenie Komunizmu in Polish language. I take some short videos and translate to Polish. It was about the success of the socialism. So I respect these cameras from USA, but I suggest you don't use the American flag.